And along with all of you, I also look for 2 days, or rather 2 sessions of interaction and discussion on a topic which is of relevance, which industry is practicing, and which is ever expanding. So I would also like to enrich from all of you, ask questions. And of course, I would like to enrich from the experience of Mr. Dr. Raju, Dr. Ravindranath, Dr. Anil Kumar, and who are all involved in this profession of teaching, training, helping industry, and such areas. Learning together. And my young friends, you are also doing MBA, and very soon you will be completing your course. And you must, all that I request you is that try to understand the essence of any subject. Try to understand the essence of Six Sigma. And then it is all left to you. Read, learn, practice, discuss. Subject is exciting, this much I can tell you. And once you find a subject exciting, well, it is up to you to take it forward. You know, sometimes back, I think some of you must have heard about this book or read this book. The name of the book is, and if you have not, go to the Google, you will get the book, or else you will get the synopsis of the book or some essence of the book. These are all available. This is a wonderful thing which has happened in the last 20 years or so. Knowledge is available to everybody. Nobody can say, I don't know how to get it from. That was the period in which we grew up. We never knew what to get the things from, where to get the learnings from. I remember in 1996, the Amazon came, and Amazon came as can any of my young friends tell me Amazon grew from where? They were in the first business of what? What were they doing in the first business? Can anybody tell me what is the first business of Amazon?
Selling of books.
Yes, book. That they started with book, and today just look at them. Massive, one of the world's largest organization. And do they practice Six Sigma? Of course they will practice. Of course they will. They ensure that there are no errors in this massive scale of business which they carry on doing. There are many success stories out there. So one gentleman, is journalist by profession, wrote a book. The name of the book is Outliers. So has anybody heard about the name this book, Outliers? So if I remember the name of the author, it is Malcolm Gladwell. Now what he says, it's a good book, good read. You will like it. And very successful in the, as a book, millions of copies sold. The author has also written, and many people discuss. There are people who discuss about this book who agrees with what he tries to say. Since he's a journalist, it is not a scholarly type book. It's a very easy, good read. So what he says is, there is a rule, he says, 10,000 hours rule. Can you guess what this 10,000 hours he means? The essence of the book is the success stories. People who have made success, companies which are successful. But and then in that context, throughout the book, there is a thread. That is, the thread is a 10,000 hour rule. Now, what is this 10,000 hour rule is? It is interesting. And if you want to develop expertise on any subject, on any topic, skills and expertise, then you need to put in at least 10,000 hours. Very, very, very funny. Very, very funny. So people, you will find even in HBR discussions are on that 10,000 hour rule. Some says there is some authority, a very renowned professor, he is saying, yeah, this is all humbug. Another one says, oh no, that can be some truth in it. So many debates go on, but it's very interesting to think 10,000 hours rule. That means, suppose you want to really develop some skills and expertise, and which will be recognized across the world, such expertise, 10,000 hours. So I sometimes think, if that is so, 10,000 hours means how many, God knows how many years. If you say, okay, I will put in 4 or 5 hours every day. But if you really seriously think, if you want to master some subject, you need to devote thousands of hours. At least, suppose even if you think 1,000 hours, I want to know Six Sigma in its entirety. Well, it can't be just done like that. If you look at the books, authoritative books, Brefogel and such others, then you realize you can't learn anything in a very short period. But there is a but. That but is, if you want to practice it, you don't go for a 1,000 hours reading or something like that. You try to understand the essence, and then you race ahead with. That's how CEOs understand the basic essence of Six Sigma, or even a manager has to understand the basic essence of Six Sigma. And therefore, you have seen that all these kinds of belts have evolved. It starts from orange belt, yellow belt, and then green belt, then black belt, then master black belt, and all those things have come up. We are not going to go very deep. It's not our aim also that to go very deep into statistics and other things. Those subjects will be there. They are there. They are very fundamental subjects. And if somebody has an interest, he will learn the statistical part of it. Very, very, it is out of his own interest. He will start learning, and it is important that statistical knowledge has to be there. But then you must. It doesn't mean that you should have a very deep knowledge of statistics. Just if you want to understand Six Sigma and practice the improvement approach which is there in Six Sigma. That's what we will try to do. So we will stop at 5 o'clock. Again tomorrow, 3 to 5. There is a 30 questions quiz were there. If not today, tomorrow we will quickly discuss that quiz. You don't have to go through it. We can do it combinedly. Maybe 10, 15 minutes, it will be over. Maybe tomorrow we do that. And the first thing, we will tomorrow, as we end, I will give you one set of slides to go through, and then maybe one exercise, small exercise. Aram se karna. Maybe I will also give you some questions to fill it up, to answer, to respond, whatever way you want to respond after tomorrow, so that before in this 5-6 days gap, you just go through it. Aram se, no hurry, no pressure, because in the learning environment is now such that you cannot learn anything fast. There is no that whole scenario has changed. Our learning environment is radically changing. Who expected these online courses will be like this? And online courses has limitations, but then, well, humankind has rise into the challenge. New models are evolving. We have to go. We have to accept these new models, and let us see how it evolves. So with this little background, we move on to, yes, I do expect questions from you, but then we have some little limitation. That time is one limitation, but I would love that you put questions, you raise questions, keep them in your note. Keep a small notepad with you and raise these questions. Keep these questions. Can this be applied there? If I want to apply this like this, what alternative is there for to DMAC, like that? Such small questions should be there. That is how you learn. I learned Six Sigma from a person who was involved in evolving of Six Sigma in Motorola. The little story like this goes that in Motorola, I think the then chairman, Motorola was then a famous company. Anybody who joins Motorola will think, ban gaya, future ban gaya, end of it. Such was the name and fame of that company, Motorola. It's still there. It's still operates in the high tech. But as you know, companies are rising, new companies are coming, like that, it happens. But then Motorola is famous for giving this Six Sigma concept to the world, which later GE make it famous, Jack Welch. But then in Motorola, the name of the person, the chairman was Bob Galvin. Used to be called Bob Galvin the Senior. So Bob Galvin, the product at that point of time, Motorola product was very famous product was pager, which I don't think any one of you has seen, which we have seen. I think Dr. Raju, you have also seen the pager, that small instrument. You must be recalling the pager ko. Yes. And then maybe I do not know, Dr. Ravindranath, whether you remember pager.
Yes, sir. I have used it.
You may remember pager, and that was a wonderful instrument. And then I also remember that, but these are all Motorola products. Imagine this is how technology develops. And there were small things in a belt they will put, and then they were maximum used in the police department and in the hospitals. So tick, 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 it will start saying, and then that means you are being called. So pager was there, and then this wireless instruments, the handheld instruments, phones, and the big ones. It used to be quite big, and then you used to have, you put it in a leather jacket, you push it and you put it there. They were leaders. In that. I mean, hardly anybody used to make them, and all across they used to be their product used to be sold across the world. Now. Bob Galvin had a farmhouse, as you will say, all this chairman, and also now in India, everybody starts having a farmhouse. Okay, fine. So Galvin, in the farmhouse of Galvin, the boss of the Galvin family, of course, it is not Bob Galvin, it is Mrs. Galvin. Boss is always the Mrs. So the boss goes around the farmhouse and he meets a farmhand, and then she asks the farmhand, how is it going? And how is the product doing? That handheld phone, which is put in the back. You push it and then you that is in the belt. It is, you just push it there inside that leather jacket. So our farmhand says, Madam, everything is fine except one thing. So she asks him, what is it? And he tells, hey, all of you can all of you hear me properly? Tell me, yes. Let me ask somebody.
Yes,
hey,
yes,
Ram Vignesh, can you hear me and make out what I'm saying? Important. Okay. Because my computer has some problem with when you talk, when the other side talks, there is a screeching noise. So I must be audible. So or else you will find that a bearded man is just moving his hands like this and saying something. You must be audible, clearly audible. So what she asks, so how is it going? How is the product doing? And then the man says, ma'am, the product stinks. Motorola stinks. Why? What's the problem? The problem is the set doesn't enter the leather jacket. It doesn't fit. I have to push, I have to turn around, I have to take it out, I have to do like this, and all those things he shows, as a farmhand will show. Next day, in the breakfast table, this is the story goes like this. In the breakfast table, the boss of the house tells Bob Galvin, the chairman, that your product stinks, Motorola stinks. And no other customer report or customer feedback, they're straight from the horse's mouth. Our good old John, he has reported back the product stinks. And then Bob listens. Bob calls John and listens. And next day, he calls a meeting. And he calls a meeting of all his big boss, big brasses, the presidents and all such positions, and says there is a problem in our product. And then the rest of it is, there was one, he was not a very senior most man, the engineer Bill Smith, but the technical head, maybe the technical director or whatever it is the position, he calls this man and says field reports and others are not encouraging. We need to do something. And then the rest of it is almost a story. This man, engineer Bill Smith, forms a team and then gathers data. Friends, I have uttered a simple word known as data. Everything centers around data, remember. So the first time that the importance of data started coming. So he collects data, he looks at those data, and whatever one says, in USA, this statistical based decision making took birth. Therefore, our engineer Smith started finding. Now, please mark what he did. He didn't do anything, any Nobel Prize winning discovery or anything like that. Everybody knew about standard deviation. Everybody knew about all the basic statistical frequency distribution to X, Y, Z, Z. Everybody knew. It's not that they didn't know. USA, Motorola company, the engineering people, the technical people knew. But they could never see that there is something there. This gentleman, out of from where now the person from whom I learned, he was working with Bill Smith. So he used to we later on became very close. This man's name is Noshir Khori Parsi. He was a Parsi gentleman. Parsis are brilliant people. I have the fortune of my association with him, which ran for many years. And then he is still in USA, and he always had that later on wish to come down to India. He left after doing his BTech in IIT Mumbai in electrical engineering, long time back. Must be now 80 plus. So then he says that how those, some of you who have already, I think in your first year MBA, if you have quantitative techniques, if you have already the topic is finished, then you will recall, or even in your engineering days, that much of all those statistics are were all told. Normal distribution curve. Yep. Somebody can recall normal distribution curve. To me, it looks like that. Somebody can recall at least the name. Ram. Yes.
Bell curve.
Yes, sir. Now,
Bell. It's like looks like a bell, sir. Bell.
Ah, that's it. The bell curve. It has got all those names. Normal curve. The bell curve. It is also known as, it starts with G.
Gaussian curve.
That's
Gaussian distribution.
it. Hey, what's your name?
Anil Kumar, sir.
Oh,
Dr.
Anil Kumar. Okay. Great. The Gauss was another, what to say, he was, those are prodigies. Okay, so there was those 68%, there's 1 plus minus 1 sigma, plus minus 2 sigma, plus minus 3 sigma, all those things were there. So this gentleman started, he must have seen something there, and over the course of time, 6 sigma developed. We are going to look first now into some of those. This is how the whole thing developed. Later on, 6 sigma was famous by GE. Motorola developed it. Then GE made it more famous, but with the book by Michael Harry, it was sold some millions and millions in a Ziffy. After a moment, it was published, and then came the American Society for Quality, this, that, and the subject rolled on. But the main contribution of the whole thing is the people's or the CEOs focus on and statistical based decision making and making it a part of business. Always remember, the 6 sigma is not detached from business. It is remember this also, my young friends, that no improvement and other things are all fine, but the CEO is mostly bothered with, money, profit. I must have something. I must have that drives him, and it is very natural. Hey, nothing is free. You must earn. The company must earn, and that the contribution of these things, until and unless 6 sigma came into the picture, was not there. Today, the 6 sigma came, the lean is there, 6 sigma is there. Then came this data science and other things. All are actually evolved from that data, because the people started understanding that the importance of data. Still in India, we do not understand the importance of data. Remember this. We always go by hunch and other things. It's good to go by hunch. Internal, that hunch or that year, that is also good. But then, good for what? It is at some point it is good, but not when you do business and other things, hard data and good data. If those are not there, well, the whole exercise flops. So we will now look into a 6 sigma fundamentals, and primarily, this is the one. This is how both of us, my mentor, and he was a truly mentor, and we ran several programs together. First, he used to run, then he used to tell me it was difficult for him to come to India. He used to go to China, and he used to go to Malaysia, Australia, Japan. Wherever Motorola's establishments were there and big suppliers were there, and give them, teach them. And then he used to tell me that why India is not doing. And then at that point of time, I was working in the Quality Council of India. And then I also felt like, let us do something. So since it was a Government of India organization, We struggled hard, and then we started doing programs. And that's how it happened. There is also a long story, but we are not going to talk about that story. So this material is primarily based on the Motorola's experience. We will have some other materials also. We will see whether how to what extent the mathematical part of it has to be dealt, because it is. At this juncture, let me share with you something. We Indians have a very, very fascination for equations, and we have a brilliant mind, but then this brilliant mind is for academic and theories like that. It is not for practice. It is not in the. I have also German mentors. The Germans, they will make use of it. I have also Japanese mentors in my career of 43, 44 years, or almost like that. I have been to Japan. I have been to Germany. I have learned benchmarking. I have seen them. There is nothing to learn. You see the people. You see the way they approach a problem. So I have seen that. You must understand and then practice. That is what we will now start seeing. Okay, now let me see how we move around. And you can stop me. You can ask me questions. You write down the questions. That is more important, and then share it with me and of course with Professor Datta, because only now we have establishing relationship. Let this relationship be there. Six Sigma will remain. You will be going into some companies or others and start contributing. I have also been in training and teaching. Training, though, I have been for decades. And since 2006, I am also in teaching, and I take all these subjects in a central university here, and of course in other business schools. Okay, now let me start with the slides. All of you can see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Absolutely clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, here we go. Fundamentals, some fundamentals. So one of the fundamentals is this, and now you must tell me what's the answer. This overriding goal of any business is what? In one word, the word is only one. It is one word. What could be the overriding goal? It starts with P.
It's profit.
Absolutely fine. There is no complications here. You have to be very, very assured that yes, the goal of any business is what? If you say, oh, sir, in an NGO, where is profit? Profit is a dirty word. All these are nonsense. There also you need money. There also, if you take out all expenses, you need to have surplus. Or with a begging bowl, you have to go to some others and say, "Mujhe paisa do, mujhe fund do." All nonsense. And in business, if you are talking about business, and today the world has realized it is only business and business. And if you want to do welfare activities, you need money, you need profit. So the word is very simple, profit. Now, Along with this, Six Sigma actually is this, they brought the attention of the CEOs back into the field of improvement through this connection, profit and improvement projects. So this is the word, profit, simple as that. Only in your pad, note down, keep it, just keep it, scribbled it, along with profit or along with Six Sigma, there is another equally powerful concept developed. Six Sigma developed in theoretically in USA, but it really had its roots in not in USA. They learned it from Japan, took it back to USA, and then that's how it happened. My mentor always used to tell me that everything I learned there in Japan, and Japan always says ki, we learned it from Henry Ford. Now, so that other subject, that other topic, which is equally in businesses practicing. Good to know that Indian industry is also practicing both Six Sigma as well as that topic. That topic starts with L. It is known as lean. The lean, if a lean master, if you really, persons there who develop lean, just like the way you pose questions that in Six Sigma, what is the business goal, final business goal? There they will say the business goal is, the word starts with G. Can you tell me what that word is? It starts with G, like God. It is that word. It is P, profit. G, what could be that word? Lean. Lean talks about that word, very common word. Business would like, without that, nothing happens in a business. Business would like to.
Target.
Huh?
Target.
G. It starts with G.
Growth.
Governance.
No, business का goal क्या governance होगा? Growth.
Growth. Okay.
It is as simple as that. Growth. Business must grow. If your business is shrinking, there is problem. If Imagine starts shrinking, problem. Microsoft starts shrinking, problem. Reliance starts shrinking, problem. And today Adani has not only grown, it has grown like anything. And it is in the league of, Asia's one of the, the company, which is, everybody is now that group. Growth. So these two, but Six Sigma talks about, mostly it started to talk on profit. That's why it was shown that this is a very famous statement. Six Sigma had these words made almost a business lexicon made has gone, that the darling of Wall Street. Six Sigma is the darling tool of Wall Street. Wall Street is famous for? Wall Street in USA famous for?
Share market.
That's it. That means companies, the world, the real companies, the companies which are there in all those whose shares are transacted. Six Sigma is a darling of the CEOs of Wall Street because it gave them profit, huge profit. And it still continues to give them huge profit. And in India, they practice it, every company, name it. And in India, ICICI, Reliance, Tatas. In India, the Tatas were of the pioneers. Before I came in touch with my mentor, I learned the first learning. I took it from the Tata Management Training Institute, TMTI, which is in Pune. Well, then they were the Tata people who took those sessions. But there was a remarkable difference between my mentor and Tata people, because my mentor is different. He was a different class altogether. So that was the profit. So it became the Wall Street darling. And it also made famous the word low-hanging fruit. Before that, nobody was used to talk about low-hanging fruit. And today, every CEO will be talking about low-hanging fruit and such things. You must know this. You may encounter in an interview that they are asking questions on what could be one of the low-hanging fruits in this year, and then you don't get at all puzzled. You have to think and say, this is, and somebody may ask him, is there any high-hanging fruit? So you have to be very intelligent. So these words are famous now. What drives business is the profit equation. This is the equation. Profit is equal to SP minus CP. SP minus CP. SP stands for selling price and CP stands for cost to produce. And listen to me very carefully now. This thing powerfully started coming in the 90s. Though the Motorola experience was going on, the experiments were going on it started in the late 80s, along with the same time in which this awards started happening. And companies that were in the Six Sigma got the world famous awards known as Malcolm Baldrige Awards. But what has that got to do with this? And in India, and still in India, and in many other companies also in countries other than India, but all are trying to change. We're trying to change. We have changed a lot. The equation was my cost plus my profit is equal to my selling price. That means the cost goes there. So cost to produce plus profit is equal to selling price. This one simple change in the equation had changed the world like anything. Because I used to say, the Indian industry used to say, my cost to produce, okay, my raw material cost, my labor cost, my indirect cost, my electricity cost, my transportation cost, my XYZ cost, plus I would like to retain a profit of, say, 15 to 20%. And then that's the price at which I will sell. Fine. So as the competition grew, I will play with that here, and at some point of time, competition will grow like this, in such a manner that I will not be able to, and I will start crying. My raw material cost is so much. Finally, I will say, okay, I have nothing to do. My raw material cost is so much. But they said, it's your problem. You change the equation like this. This was known as target costing or Kaizen costing. You change the equation. Now, who decides your selling price? It is not you. It is the market which is deciding. So you accept that. Look at the market. Your business intelligence should tell you that this is the selling price. And then how much profit you can make, you now look at here. It is here you have to play. You are not playing here. Now you play here. And this is how do I play? How do I play? And now came the question. If you want to play, you learn tools and approaches and methodologies which will help you to get play in this field. That's what started happening. Both Lean, both Six Sigma, Lean, and later on technological innovations like you must have heard about this Industry 4.0, which the basic fundamentals must be known to you as you go out after 1 year. Fundamentals only, because if there is nothing to sit down and learn except the conceptual part of it. Be very clear about those conceptual parts. So now, must have heard about this name, Tom Peters, and if you have not, he was one of the persons who charged the business community of USA after he wrote a book. That book is still one of the best sellers in the world. It is known as In Search of Excellence. Scribble it down. In Search of Excellence by Tom Peters. It is in that book he looks at what companies do, successful, excellent companies. Excellent is a word, it is not a simple word, it carries meaning. So that excellent, he started studying and came out with that book, In Search of Excellence. So he says, in that essence is customers like things that work. It is not that customers like hugely, yeah, customers like these, that, nothing. It simply works, it's happy, you are happy. You don't expect all those super duper things, customer want this, customer like this, as yeah. No, customers simply like things that work. I would, if I buy something, if I buy a refrigerator, if I buy any consumer goods, if I buy a mobile, I would like you, all of you can experience that. If it works, I'm happy. You don't need many things. If it works, satisfy my needs, fine. So that is this Tom Peters In Search of Excellence. Write it down. These are things which you should remember. And here is another one. Good to great. How great companies have started doing. Good to great. No longer. Okay. Microsoft goes to great. Amazon goes to great. And struggling, the Pepsi went to great, and then then Coca-Cola also, Boeing, good to great, then this. All those things. This is you are MBA students. Always remember that. You must understand, appreciate all these things. Six Sigma is not just a tool. Hey, Six Sigma is a DMAC. It's rubbish. Six Sigma is grew from all these things. You must. These are things. This is the only time which you can devote and a good to great essence. You don't have to read the entire book. You have on the Google everything you will get. 12-page, 15-page summary, and so excellently written. These days I don't have the time and I don't have the year, but I have to go to the summary and then understand it. So now, how do I play? What do I reduce? I reduce here. I reduce on waste. I reduce on cost. Warranty you have heard. Warranty cost, guarantee cost, guarantee, warranty. What is the difference? Tomorrow I'm going to ask somebody. Tomorrow I'm going to ask whom? I'm going to ask, I'll just look at the names and then I will select somebody. And then somebody has to tell me what is the difference between warranty and guarantee. In-process fallout means in-process deviations. When you are making it or when you are writing any process, there is deviation. So in-process deviation. Always remember, this is another area, development cycle. Long development cycle. Then what will happen? The time to market will be long, and by the time you do it, it's gone. So this is a very powerful thing. Development cycle time. Lengthy development cycle. Can you tell me? One of my young friends must tell me how long it used to take to design a new model car. How long? You will have to now design a new car. There's all these companies, Toyota, Renault, Nissan, you name it, Volvo, all of them are designing new cars. How long they used to take, even 5-6 years back? How long? I will not give you the answer. Just search out that answer. The time taken for a new car has reduced from so many months to so many months. It has reduced average time of a new car development. How have they done it? But before how have they done it? You must, how they set the goals. Now, suppose I say they used to take a new car to be brought into the market, a new model. Take the Maruti case. Maruti का model क्या model है? 5-6 model के बारे में just utter some models of Maruti.
Maruti 800, sir.
Then
Maruti Gen.
Just rattle out now the different models of Maruti. Desire,
Swift.
and then the latest one. What is the latest one? Do they have any latest one? Breeza. Then what is the big sedan? What is it? How long they are taking? Think about it. Take the Maruti case. Don't have to go to the Honda or Hyundai. You take the Maruti case, and don't have to go to even the Toyota, which is important. Toyota also you should try to understand what Toyota is doing. But Maruti here in my country there is Maruti, and they are the leaders. How have they become leaders? Do they practice Six Sigma? Do they practice Lean? Yes, they do fully. So this is the development cycle. And excess inventory. That means inventory can you do have some inventory, but forget that the concept of zero inventory. It is very difficult. But the concept of JIT, just in time, is there. Is Six Sigma different from JIT? Not at all. They are all combined. So all these things, you can work on all these things and then improve. That is the playground. That is they started looking at it. And then we move on. Only remember this. Just to remember, don't have to. This is as you go along in your career, as 10 years passed, 15 years passed, then you will start realizing that it is a truth forever. Make things simple. We have a terrible problem there. Indians have a terrible problem there. We cannot make anything simple. Simplicity. Then make things visible. We again have a problem there. That is now that it is also known as a visible workplace. Write this word down. I'm not writing it down. I do not retain it in my mind also. But you write it down. Tomorrow, I will ask a visible workplace. What is two features of a visible workplace? I'm not even saying factory. Any visible workplace. Your institute is a workplace. So what is a visible workplace feature? A visible workplace will have 3 points. Okay, visibility in this context is these tools. These tools make your company's improvement journey visible to you. Have to understand it is, of course, the process visibility, statistical process control. Your problems are always there. Then you have to solve that problem. So your problem solving is on this tool, a very, very powerful tool. And then everybody wants to predict. Today, anybody you go, and the fast prediction requirement is, when will Corona end? When will this end? Only thing people are trying to predict, when will this Corona go? Will the third wave come? Will this come? Because this Corona has done at least one thing, a huge amount of data analysis and a good amount of data analysis. India has got now a massive data, but then this data has to be understood and then predict. There are organizations which are they have used tools and they are predicting. IIT KGP has a wonderful tool. IIT Professor here, Dr. Anil, you must have seen that tool that KGP has developed. And Delhi, I think, also is in the process of developing. And they have developed and they're refining it, putting the data and saying. But in industry, in business, you also have predictability, development of a process model using this design. This is a, in Six Sigma, this is the tool, experimental design, at least known its name. You do experiments and then you accordingly, you fix up the various parameters, which we will discuss in these four sessions. Maybe we will discuss the essence of experimental design. This is all these are here. So remember, this is simplicity, visibility, predictability, and this is the famous man, Richard. Again, right? Let's scribble it down. The Japanese manufacturing techniques, the 9 hidden lessons in simplicity. Richard Schoenberger. He is a master. He gave the concept of world-class manufacturing, WCM. Many business schools have a topic, have a session in their operation on world-class manufacturing. They come out with their, this is Schoenberger, remarkable authority on manufacturing. This is the Japanese manufacturing technique, the 9 hidden lessons in simplicity. And then as we move on to very quickly, we will touch this. We will quickly touch it. We will not spend too much of time on this, but it is important, loaded with learnings. Why do they have any company, if they ask you, why Six Sigma? 2 things happen. Key objective is to survive in a global economy. Every company is trying to survive. Today, the problem, the pressure is more than ever how to survive in a global economy, and that economy in today is getting shaken up like anything. So we have to cut waste. We need to cut waste, and we need to win customers. This is the key objective. If somebody comes and tells me, I will tell you an approach which will ensure that you may be able to survive in this global economy by cutting waste and winning customers. I, as a CEO, and my leadership team may look at it and say, okay, let me listen to what you are saying. This is why Six Sigma. If quality does not improve, you fall behind. This quality means, this quality is not what you think in a small area of inspection, in small terms of quality assurance, quality control. Not that. If this quality means big quality, it involves everything. It involves everybody. It involves every department. So, and it does not mean it will live out marketing, it will live out finance, it will live out security. Everywhere there is a concept of quality. So it is actually looking at that quality. And what it means, never to be forgotten, never to be. Now, it means it is either you say 3.4 ppm, parts per million, or you say 3.4 defects per million opportunities for error, DPMO. This term is actually the term. You must remember this term, DPMO. We will be coming to that term now. This is one fundamental learning. If you understand DPMO, your understanding is you have understood something. And that is not difficult at all. It is as easy as 1 + 1 = 2. So, but when you go to the business, you will find reports come in the form of ppm. Generally, reports you will not find in the form of DPMO. Yesterday, our performance was so much ppm. If you go to any, by the way, even now, tell me that IT, you leave aside IT, then what are the two sectors of Indian economy where India is recognized for their performance? Which two sectors are there in Indian economy which world recognizes as India as good performer? What are the two
Uh,
economic sectors?
IT and IT, sir. One is
Agriculture.
I told you, no, not besides IT.
besides IT. Okay.
Agriculture, sir.
Hmm?
Agriculture,
No, not agriculture.
medicine.
Agri- Agriculture में problem क्या? Do you understand? You must as MBA student. Agriculture is fine, but can our agriculture productivity of agriculture compete? Nowhere, nowhere.
Nowhere, nowhere.
Then what two industries? Now I'm focusing. What are the two industrial sectors in which India is recognized as masters, as an extremely good performer? Such sectors, one of the sectors are very much there in Tamil Nadu, near your that Seripurambudur. What is that name of the place? MC. I forgot name.
Automobile, sir.
That don't say automobile, say auto
Motive.
component.
Auto component. Yes. Auto
Must know
component.
this.
Yeah.
Auto
Yeah.
component is Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu.
Yeah. Tamil Nadu Sriperumbudur, sir.
Yeah, which is the company which made famous, which from where it started. Auto component, the performance of auto company, auto component making company, it looked at it. Remember the TVS group.
Yeah. TVS.
And then of course, then it rolled out everywhere. India across Tamil Nadu, Pune, Hosur, Gurgaon, many other small, all clusters are there. So India is recognized as a very good performer in auto component sector. And what is the other sector? The other sector is
Textile, sir.
no
Oh.
world-class textile. Still, we are not here. When you say performer, good performance means its quality achievement is very high. Pharmacy, remember, pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Some of the best pharmaceutical companies are here, and now there are many issues are coming. So with those we are not now discussing that, but remember they are there. So why am I saying this? Because if you go to those companies, you will find that their chief executives are carefully monitoring PPM. When they take up Six Sigma projects, when they are taking there, they will discuss DPMO and all those things. But in general, they know PPM. You will find their marketing chap is also knowing PPM. Yesterday, how it was the PPM. You will know this. They will track their suppliers in terms of PPM. Everywhere they know PPM. PPM has become a term which business understands in our country. These two sectors thoroughly understands. Other industrial sectors are also understanding PPM. This was not the case 20 years back or even 15 years back. This is good. And now this is you. I'm giving a 1 minute break. Write it down, though it is here and though it is in the materials given to you through Professor Datta. It is everywhere there, but write it down. Just 1 minute I'm giving you. Have all of you written it down?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when a company says, I am operating at 1 sigma, its defect count is 6,90,000 out of
10 lakhs.
10 million.
1 million. 1 million is 10 lakh.
I also used to make this mistake. Nah? It is 1 million, 10 lakh.
10 lakhs.
So I produce 10 lakh of pieces, whatever I produce, and I make 6,90,000 defects. Can I survive?
No.
Common sense tells me
No.
you better pack off and go and have tea. I cannot survive. If I work on a 2 sigma situation, how much defect I am making? 3,08,000 out of 10 lakh. 30% defect. Ridiculous. I can't survive. If I am operating on 3 sigma level, which translates into 66,807. Now, Indian companies used to say, and still there are hundreds and thousands company which will say, "Ye to hoga."
3 sigma. Okay, they will tell.
They will say this will hoga.
Okay.
If I am working on 4 sigma, I make 10,000, 10 lakh. Defect is 6,210. I will say this is normal. This is not only normal, this is too good. This is too good. I am making 10,000 now very clear, something like this. Indian mobile company. Can you recall an Indian mobile company? 2, 3 Indian mobile company? Dekho, you cannot recall.
Lava. Lava.
Micromax.
Micromax.
ठीक है Micromax, Lava, Intergas था. Where are they? Where are they? Will you go? Can you go to the market and can you see them? Lava. Micromax. Great. And there is one Carbon.
Yeah.
Where are they? Vanished in the thin air. Why? At least for one of them, I can tell you. I was once requested to visit them, and their chief of service, chief of marketing, he frankly told me, I get so many complaints, and none of my people there in the service department, first interface, they understand what the customer problem is. First of all, they do not understand. And what they communicate to the service technician, you can make out that you have a very powerful subject known as communication. Why do they teach like that? Because what the customers have told to the service front line, the service front line has not understood it, so he has said something to the service technician. Service technician has understood it in some other manner, and then when it has come to the factory, something else has happened. The gentleman told me, my business will wind up. Can you save us? No, who can save? I cannot save them. No? They need a massive orientation on all these things, because I just simply told them, calculate your sigma. It's very quickly it can be calculated, and then arrived at whether there is any chance of their survival or not. Why? Remember, if you are hovering with 1 or 2, better close and have tea. 3 start preparing the tea. Start the process if you are in 3. 4, you are at a danger. You are at a danger. Absolute danger mein aa gaya hai. And if you are at 5, well, there you look at it, the drop. Look at the drop. And well, you have. So if you are here, which you think is good, gone, because that lava was here, that carbon was here. If you are here, you are good. You really are good. If you are here, well, you are fine. You are fine. I am not saying you are too good. You are fine, because there are companies which have gone beyond this. Beyond this, it can go. And why not? So today, that medical instrument, how can it say here 3.4 defects hoga? You cannot say. So this is the scenario. Now, very quickly tell me. Now, make your brain work. Very, 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 very fundamental. So simple, but make your brain work and tell me. Then how many? Listen to my question carefully, and then give me an answer. How many times of improvement is there from 690,000 to 308,000? Number of times of improvement.
Two times, sir.
Huh?
200%.
Already you have become puzzled. 2 times बोल कर 200%. 6 से 3 improvement होता है. I have got 6 defects. Now I have got 3 defects. How many times improvement I have made?
1 time.
How will you do it? अच्छा, percentage में बोलो. How will you calculate the percentage improvement? What will be the expression? Only tell me the expression. Today I am at this, tomorrow I am at this. Percentage improvement happened, the CEO is asking. What will be, how will I calculate? This minus this divided by this into 100. So what is this and what is this and divided by this? What are this? This one, this 2, this 3. इसको क्या होगा? What minus what?
690,000 minus 308,000.
Divided by?
690,000.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever is the number, whatever is the percentage, into 100. And how much it is coming?
Just a minute.
0.5.
Okay, this is another task you have to do at home. And tomorrow you have to tell me. Not only this, so please tell me, because imagine the company where you are working, your departmental boss is asking, or your CEO is asking, if I am improving from this to this, how many times improvement? I am improving from this to this. How many times improvement? I am improving times. You cannot go and tell him percentage improvement like that. 2000 percentage.
Sir, it is the first case. It is 55.36%.
And then okay, you will have to tell the book CEO that sir, this is so many times improvement. Sir, from here to here, this is so many times improvement. Sir, from here to here, this is so many times improvement. Sir, from here to here, this is so many times improvement. And sir, if you have to from 5 sigma, if you have to go to 6 sigma, so many times of improvement which we need to have. It's a very, very common questions. Now you can guess the 6 sigma is not mathematics. It is a simple thing. But the question was, a CEO would not like you to overorganize. Sir, you know the answer is no. Sir, the answer is, I'm telling you the answer, sir, 6,90,000 minus 308,000 divided by 69,000 into 100. That is the percentage, sir. He will tell you, please go outside, have tea, and don't enter the company. He will say like that. So now, quickly, in a jiffy, try to find out, but no, not now. Had we worked in a offline situation, I would have loved this. You will have loved the fun of it. But you do it at home today itself. How many times, and why they say 6 sigma, to get 6 sigma, if you are at this level, from this level to this level, and find out this also, from this level to this level you have to improve. How many times you have to improve? It will shake you up. The CEO will be shaken up. In the same way, when this top leadership team of that company, when they immediately realized, you will find CEOs almost throughout my professional life. I have seen all CEOs are extremely quick to understand these numbers. Matlab numbers they understand in a very fast. How many times they will just look at it and tell you this is so many times, this is so many times, this is so many times. So develop that skill also. Okay, now we move on, and then a 4 sigma, usually this is something which is found out. Well, to 20,000 wrong prescription, 15,000, all these things, wrong prescription and newborns falling. This is known as drop. This is known as number of cases of fall. Actually, this is in the hospital, they call it fall. India, there are many falls and people, newborns dying. This is known as fall. Fall means Girjana, FALL. 500 bad surgical operations. 2,000 lost articles. These are all found out if you are working at 4 sigma. So much is the problem, the gravity of the problem. You will be out. You will be out. They show it in such examples, which is hitting life. Goals must be quantifiable, expressed in numbers. World-class quality doesn't mean anything. You must express everything as numbers. So many times. 1980s, they wanted to be the world's best communication company, and Toyota was the best car company. Just like that, they wanted to be. They are still perhaps the best car company. They struggled, but they are no longer the best communication company, or maybe the best communication in the field. In the field, they are limited field in which they operate. But as a company, well, problems. Even GE has a problem. GM has a problem. They established a goal of 3.4. Please now, little attention for maybe the next 5 to 10 minutes. A 3.4 goal they set, and they said, this translates actually into a 68% improvement per year. Now very carefully see some figures. Okay, these are the specific actions which you will come back. Now you see that number of times, how many times itna fold like that. Now you see they were operating in the year one. खूब carefully अभी 5 minutes ही सुनो. How much ppm? Somebody respond. How much ppm? 30,000.
Yeah.
And this ppm will correspond to how much sigma?
1 sigma.
Tuck. See this.
In between three sigma and 4 sigma.
And that is good. What's your name?
Anil Kumar.
Hari Kumar. Oh, good. 30,000 did we say? Yes, we said 30,000. Between this and this, you better write it down in your notebook forever, because these are things which is forever. It doesn't change. It will never change. So, okay, this and this, a typical Indian company. Motorola was also a typical Indian company. This and this, good. Fine. Now, next year, they said, we are going to make 68%. What did they say? They said कि 68% improvement करते करते चलेंगे. So if the 68% improvement takes place, how much will be the drop? The next one, the next 9,600. You can make out 9,000, 30,000. Say 9,600. We will achieve this if we have every year 68% improvement. We are committing ourselves. Friends, this is how management commitment takes place. They looked at a number. Somewhere somebody found out something in his mind. He saw something, and therefore he said, Motorola, if it does like this, let us see how it happens. First year, they have attained this. Second year, constantly 68%. So it is this. If it is this, they are now in which sigma? Between which and which sigma? 3072. Is it between 3 and 4 or 4 and 5?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. This and this. Now they have gone to this. Every year 68% improvement ho raha hai. Now they have gone here. Have they reached 5 sigma? 5 sigma is how much? 230. That's it. Have they reached? No, they have not reached. Have they reached? No, they have not reached. Have they reached? They have reached. They have reached. Celebrate. So by 5th year they have reached. 5th year, 5 sigma they have reached. Move. 32. Have they reached 6 sigma? No. Yes.
8th year.
This was the fantastic thing which they set before themselves, and they went on working 68% improvement. Nobody really, what is this 68? How did they come to 68? I used to ask my mentor. He used to smile and say, that's what, hey, you will be remembering, must be remembering Bill Smith. This is how they frame the whole thing. This is how companies make history. This is how business makes history. This is how business evolves. Business management subject becomes a science. This is how. This is not physics, chemistry, or engineering, electrical engineering, or anything like that. This is how the whole, why business is so interesting. And these are numbers. Everywhere engineering is numbers. Physics, chemistry, everything, sciences and numbers. But these numbers are funny. They look at something and then it derives. Ho jata hai. This is how it happens. What did they do? If a question is put, what did they do? They did this. They took some action. That you need not be very much, but everywhere these are the actions every business is trying to take or taking. If they are serious, they are surviving. If they are not, they are doing it seriously. Problems. Strong emphasis on training. Everybody is knowing what are the goals. If you keep secret, if you are not transparent, problems. There is a subject known as benchmarking. Benchmarking means best of the practice in your sectors, not even now in your sectors, best of the practice from anywhere. And then you compare your own practice. And usually you try to go by a number. Their norm, the word is norm. What is their norm? What is my norm? The best practice norm is in a training environment this. And if you calculate suppose in my company how much training, for example, let me tell you, in that company, what is the number of per year training everywhere, every employee, minimum 40 hours training, minimum. Mandate means mandate. That company, it was not even 4 hours. And they are trying to think, what is the problem with my people? Your problem with your people is that nobody knows. Nobody is trained properly. And then these are the tools. These are the famous tools. SPC, Statistical Process Control. Design of experiment. In a disciplined manner, problem solving. Risk analysis. Absolutely powerful tool. This is statistics based. This is not statistics based. This is only a brilliant approach. This is statistic based, but then it's very powerful tool. Our industry, our business is trying to learn this tool like anything, because today the risk word is very much hitting everybody. This one, please understand this one. We will try to see, but if you practice only then you will be mastering. This is something to be mastered. This is something to be mastered. I will show you examples. Simple tool. Simple is actually difficult. Oh, so simple. Therefore, I will not practice it. If you do not practice, simple doesn't remain simple and never gives you anything. And when it is time to do that, you have forgotten everything. These are the basics. Customer advocacy. Supplier management is extremely important everywhere. Everybody has a supplier. Even in IT industry has a supplier. Even a pure service delivery, DHL, all this thing, they have suppliers. Everybody has a supplier. So you have to be partnership with them. Today their word is partner. Previously they used to be, still India has that attitude. Tighten your supplier. All nonsense. Benchmarking on a global scale. Train the trainers. All these tools. Rigorously they practiced all these tools. Rigorously they practiced. What did they learn? The tools, these are those tools which you saw, many of them are known as deal manufacturing methods. They are combined. Supplier partnership is important. Reduce product introduction cycle time. All these things they started learning. Technology transfer. Process orientation. Always remember process orientation. Process. A process. What is a process? Simple definition of a process, bolo. Simplest definition of a process. Somebody just attempts.
Continuations, no. What?
Come again?
Execution of the plan.
Please, little slowly, because I told you now that computer screeches.
Execution.
Process is, process is simplest mental frame of process is like this. There is input, then there is conversion, there is a box conversion, and then there is, from that box, input is entering the box. Box is a conversion where things are changing and something comes out. The word is just like the word input. That word starts with O. What is that word? O?
Output.
Output, as simple as that, so simple. And in your engineering, in your management, quantity techniques, you have all studied that, but you forget. Input, conversion is the word. Input, and then there is no conversion, output is equal to input. Nothing happens. I go to a barber shop, I open the door, I input, I enter, and I come out. Nothing has changed. Same here, same dari, same beards. So no change. But if I go, I get a shave, I get a cut. There is a process has happened. Let us understand the process. Why? Because I wanted something and some kind of a style, and they made a mess of it. They kept me. They made a mess of my beard. They made a mess of my hair, and I'm so angry. So let me study the process, various steps of the process. So input, conversion, and output. In the conversion, please remember one thing should happen. Two things should happen. What are the two things to happen? Write it down in your note. I'm unable to write now. Input, put a box, and then output. So input, conversion, output. Besides, below the conversion box, you write something that what conversion means. There are two things which should happen. What are the two things? One thing is positive, and another thing is negative. Something positive should happen. What is that positive? All of you know that word. Your marketing, your this, that, you have heard. That you know that word. The word starts with V. V for victory. Kya ho sakta hai?
Value.
Absolutely right you are. Value creation. So added value. Input should add value, something to the input. And then that is plus. It must increase. And there nothing in this world is only goody. Nothing in this world. There is always a drag. So what drags? That word starts with, now this is a word which if you have to do some brain, tickle your brain. That word starts with E.
Errors.
Hey, who is that? Who was that? Who is that?
It's Srimati.
Hey, what's your name?
Srimati, sir.
Huh? Srimati.
Srimati.
Error. So you have to, that drag is minus is error. These two things. You must minus the lesser and lesser. Increase value has many things. So time, a value creation, time is there. So that is why they say Six Sigma will help you reduce time. That is why they say increase value means technological innovation. Six Sigma may say there is a need for technical. So plus going on. an error, that is where defect reduction. That is where a whole set of tools are there. Statistical process control, process mapping. Say you start with process mapping because you must know that process. That is how it started looking. And also in your whatever you have drawn, you put from output side, you take a line and make it enter into the input side, and that line, as you do it, is a very common word. You have to, that word starts with F.
Feedback,
F,
sir.
feedback. That's it, feedback. And yeah, you guys are very good. You guys are brilliant. If I now say from output, still you put a line, move a line straight, and then again there is another word starts with O. What is that word O? It is not output because you've already had output.
Opportunity.
You extend it, and then there is another word that is O. What is that word?
Opportunity.
Hmm?
Opportunity.
O. It also starts with O.
Opportunity.
Did you say outcome?
Opportunity, sir. Opportunity.
No, it starts with O. The word is
Sir.
outcome. It is output, then it goes, and then there is another word starts with O, which is outcome. There is a difference between outcome and output. Can you make out that? What is the difference? Outcome and output, there is a difference. See, just think. You have you are a exporter, and you have a setup which makes garment. Garment may India is getting beaten by whom now? Which country is beating India?
Bangladesh, sir.
Now what has happened is, suppose now imagine you are a garment, you make garment and then you also export. Input, garment input, there will be textile, there will be threads, there will be machines in XYZ, machine, material, methods, all these inputs will be there. And then there is an output, the garment is there. You have made the garments. And now imagine, why they say outcome? Now imagine that garment is now reaching USA, but it has reached when, suppose your order was for Christmas, and it has reached 3 days after Christmas. What is the outcome? 0. Because they will say, pack it and go back, send it back. So that is the problem. That is why the second outcome is also extremely fundamental thing. So Six Sigma also has started. You will see the amazing array of projects which are happening. People have started realizing that this is a tool which can be applied anything. You apply in that range. Output to ho gaya, then this thing, and what can be done to ensure if you have a problem there. So these are all things which you should know. Acha, it is all done. Okay, the employee involvement. These are terms which you will later on we will. These are extremely important terms. Jidoka is an automation. These are terms which you should. Okay, we will come across. We will see them at some point of time. Not. So now, what was the lesson? The lesson is that from the Japanese, and this same they coincided, high quality at low cost. This is the mantra, high quality at low cost. And these are the tools. These are the tools. This is the another famous book. It's like a novel. It's like the way the machine that changed the world. The machine is nothing but these methodologies. Read it. If you read it, if you tell in your if you moment they discuss with you, suppose, and they understand that you have read Womack's Machine That Changed Your World. There is an 11-page or 12-page beautiful summary is there. So you must read. These are all must to be done. This summary is very difficult. I don't know why they have not been able to, why they have not done it. I don't know. So now, any questions? Give me, or write down the questions. Write it down, and I can see the questions, or write them down right away, because tomorrow send them that these are the question. I will just have a look at it. How do I go? How do I go into Six Sigma? This is how, very simple steps, 6 steps. How many steps? 5 steps. Sorry, it's not 6 steps. Not 6 steps, only 5 steps. It's not, that doesn't mean that you go to 5 Sigma only. You go to 6 Sigma level. So the 5 steps are: set a benchmark. Dekho, very, very simple. Now, take any case. Take the case of, suppose, best way to start setting the benchmark means, I want to improve. Imagine Lava company saying, I want to improve. I have so much of, when I am losing out in the market, my market share is dropping like anything. If this trend continues, I will be out. Good. So they call you, you calculate the number of complaints happening, numbers, and since you have the number of complaints and you know how many products have been shipped and all those things, you can you should be able to arrive at the PPM. And so you find out ki, okay, if this level of, and then this is the 6th level of Sigma. Level of Sigma, don't say level of 6 Sigma, level of Sigma, 5 Sigma, 4 Sigma, like that. And then the company's eyes becomes big, pop up, Bapre. And you say, you will, if you do not work towards 5 Sigma, that is the only surviving method or the surviving pathway. So they agree. And so then say, how do I go? Then you will say, set a benchmark. Where are we now? This data collection is not easy. Where are we now? So they have to go around, find out. Now you tell me, what you tell me. But problem is there is a screeching noise that I don't know how to get. Nobody is here. Now you tell me, if Lava wants to set a benchmark, it will go to the number of complaints received from which other companies? What are those companies? Lava is a company.
Redmi.
Yeah. Realme, very good. Good. Now tell me, should it try to collect the data of, what's the latest model of the Apple? Apple ka kya hai? S11 na kya? What is it? S12. Apple. Will it collect the data of Apple?
Google. Google.
But should it collect the data of those your company, or they should limit to Android companies? Think about. If you are there, will you collect their data also, or will you not? Now, this is management exercise. It is not mathematics per se. You have to think. Okay, suppose you say, okay, we will collect all the data, and then the top management says, okay, then we will not look at these data, we will look only onto these data, and you set a benchmark. Then you set an achievable goal. Remember, don't forget the way you have seen just now Motorola company. How much defect they were at the first year? How many ppm they started with? Mental recall?
30,000 ppm.
Absolutely right you are. And in how many years they reached what
8
level?
years. 8 years.
And they reached what level? How
6
many?
Sigma level.
No, don't say 6 Sigma. The numbers from 30,000 ppm.
3.3.
That's good. I was thinking he will say 3.4, which
No,
is
3.3.
3.3 actually they reached. Good. So then they said they must have discussed within themselves, and they have, which we know. I used to listen to my mentor. So they discussed it, and it was an achievable goal. Yes, we can. So you set an achievable goal. Establish realistic milestone. Every year, 1 year, second year. They know in Indian company they may say, then in 1 year we will 30,000. So 3. What is there? It is my company, our company. I will threaten every people to do good work. I will take punishable action. Everything will be in order. What do you know? Nonsense. Pure nonsense. They gave themselves 8 years. Realistic milestone. Always understand this. Give realistic one, not a fearful one. Then develop a plan of action. How do I go there? Which tools which training should I give? To whom, what kind of training should I give? And then use the appropriate tool. This is very, very fundamental. Very, very fundamental. You have just had a broad, powerful tools. Remember, just mark my words. They are broad, powerful tools. But they are not the entire toolbox. The toolbox of Six Sigma contains perhaps 100 to 200 tools. Boeing company has a toolbox. And then this Boeing company, when if you want to work with the Boeing company, you are also a company. Doesn't matter whether you're a small or big. The small company can have very, very talented people, and one loves to work in a small talented company of talented people. Such companies are there in the south. Some are there in the north. And mark my word, because in the south there are maximum. I've been traveling this country like anything. I've been to almost everywhere and where there is an industry. And then, because there, you can just imagine in a Ziffy didn't happen that ISRO didn't, just like that they could not until and unless their supply chain was absolutely powerful, very much thorough in tools and techniques, but their numbers are very negligible. So using those, Boeing has a toolbox, and then they say, please go through this toolbox. 300 plus tools are there. We said, give training and tell us what kind of training you have given. They meticulously follow if you want to supply to Boeing company. Those are examples. Boeing was an early pioneer of Six Sigma. it's the all tools are, but some of you, and I'm not saying to all of you, some of you over the time must be interested in such, the one who loves numbers. But the most fundamental thing is use the right tool, appropriate tool. You do not use a, suppose you want to cut my hair, you want to cut my beard. You will not, to cut my beard, you will not use a tool like a hammer. You bringing a hammer. What are you doing? I will, with this hammer, I will try to cut your beard. It's ridiculous. It is as ridiculous as that. People use tools which are just not applicable there. So the which tool to use where is a fundamental knowledge. This is the first learning. I know which tool to use where, at least I am alert to that need. Or in my excitement, I will use tools. This is all humbug. So identify, next is now a little further few steps. Identify the product or service you provide. That is, identify your product services. This is very important. If I just turn at you, my friends from the institutes, management institutes, and I ask you, what are the products and services your institute is involved? You will first, you will say, sir, academic service, MBA. After MBA. After MBA, sir, general MBA, and then HR MBA, and then the best. But my question was, suppose Karo, that institute wants to think about Six Sigma. What are the services do they provide? You must know all the services, and your institute is a, imagine ISRO, imagine a port, imagine a port, Mumbai port, Jawaharlal Nehru port. Imagine Reliance, world-class refinery, huge, world's one of the largest, if not the largest now. Imagine BHEL. In your Tamil Nadu, there are two BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited. One is in where? Can anybody tell me? Tamil Nadu, there are two. Trichy. Another one is in Ranipet. Huge. Trichy factory, huge. So what are the product services? Baapre. Identify your product services. Even in a lava company, what are the product services? Products and services. Identify the units of measurement to measure the product or service provided. Do I use, what are the units of measurement? You will start, as I show you examples, you will start understanding. Identify your customers and what is important to them in quantifiable terms. In the case of lava, suppose complaints are coming, what are the two things which they will like to see? Can you guess? Just guess. You have to guess. You have to tell me the correct one. Lava customers have problems. So what are the things what the customers are come and given the product back? So what now they
There is
expect?
no quality product. There is no quality product. There is no quality. And then there is less battery.
And then also?
Battery capacity is very less compared to it.
Did you say time? Time is also important, no? So now you take it. Suppose you are the lava company. I go and I of course I want it back to in a certain amount of minute time, and then you are not giving me. Oh, sir, you come day after tomorrow, and then after sir, there is a holiday. You come on Monday. End of it, eh? This is all in quantifiable term. Identify your customer and what is important to them in quantifiable term. How many days they want it? 2 days? Then if you say, oh sir, 2 days, yeah, हो जाएगा तो मतलब ही होगा नहीं होगा. So this is how they are trying to alert you. Identifying what you need from your suppliers, both internal and external. You must have been taught that there is a concept known as internal customer. Example, internal customer, suppose now, expand your mind. And most of you are from mostly, I think, engineering background. There is a in a factory, or even in your engineering factory, or even in your MBA. MBA में who okay, now let me first be on a so-called a laboratory. A laboratory is there where tests are done. Who are the internal customers?
The person who is the employee.
Internal and external. Supplier customer relationship. There are so internal customers. You must be very, very careful. Internal customers. External, everybody knows. External suppliers. Internal suppliers. One who supplies some things to the report is supplied. Laboratory reports are getting supplied to a department who needs it. So internal supplier. This is the, and to provide products or service that will satisfy that. Why they are saying integrate your suppliers. Don't think they're outside. You will not. Okay, I will pass on their problem. I will pass my problem on to them. No, nothing like that. Therefore, form supplier partnership with key suppliers. BHEL may have got 500 suppliers. You cannot establish partnership with 500 suppliers. With key suppliers, always key, always key, always with that Pareto thing, the main important one. Define the process. This is as is map and should be map. As is and should be. And then if I have, this is the process, this process is taking so much of time. The customer is coming and he is first waiting. Then when is he coming to the front from service personnel? Yes, sir. What is your problem? Please fill up this form, sir. Then he fills up this form and then he finds something, information is required, which is not understanding. Hanji sir, what is this information? And he is not listening. So again, okay, this fields have to be provided. Okay, hand over the form to the fields front line here. Get a acknowledgement form from him. Check all the whether all the fields have been formed or not. This is known as is process map. The entire process is let down like this. Very, very tedious. But if you don't do that, you don't know anything about your own process. The moment you go and try to prepare, these are very times when you can prepare food. Go to the kitchen and then see what happens. Today I will make name a good item here. Dinner cup, good item. Just name. If you love paneer, say paneer something, chili paneer, or paneer, or say, aaj night masala dosa. Acha, how do I make masala dosa? The process map starts. This is as is. This is how I make the process map. I make masala dosa. And what should be? If I make like this, the masala dosa will be made. It will take 3 hours time. Nonsense. I cannot wait 2 hours again. I can wait up to 2 hours. So, Okay, then you start analyzing the whole thing, and then what should be? Then how do I go from here? This is some simple kitchen process to most complicated process are studied like this. That this is how there is a subject, there is a topic known as value added analysis, VA analysis. Value added, non-value added. So this process map helps. This is the most fundamental approach. We will try to see that. We will. Step 5, mistake proof the process. Mistake proof that process may, wherever there is a mistake, I am adding little more salt. I don't know the estimate of salt. If that is critical, suppose it's a very critical thing, then do away with that. My attempt to understand, estimate that. That you can use a simple tool. Simple tool will, it will do it that 10 grams of 10 grams it will. I don't have to bother. It is 10 grams high. So that is how mistake proof. Understand from the process will say where are the mistakes happening. So display defect data and how do I concentrate, right? Pareto, which we will try to see. We will see, analyze, analyze, optimize designated experiments. So step 5 is remove the mistakes, as simple as that. And then step 6, hey, there is a step 6. Hey, there is a step 6. 6 steps to Six Sigma. Whereas in the beginning there were how many? So these are the broad steps. Getting to Six Sigma. It is 5 steps, but what are the 6 steps to Six Sigma? These are the 6 steps. This, just try to remember. You will get many steps are there. Everywhere they talk about steps. You will also learn something about DMAC, the methodology. But that's a very detailed methodology. But then these are the fundamental steps. Fundamental steps for Six Sigma. Without this, you cannot achieve. This is how all these big companies they started moving. Later on, then as they started ASQ and all those they think, and then Motorola University came, GE. For the DMAC, DMA, DV, all those methodologies started evolving. But the fundamentals are this, never to be forgotten, these fundamentals, never. Very simply put, very simple building blocks. This is how it happens. What are the key operational tools we use? The key operational tools we use is process mapping, which we will try to see or use. Better see process mapping examples, Google, Tuck. See, statistical know-how to convert data. Statistics help you to convert data to knowledge. That's it. That is how we should do. Effective deployment of statistical process techniques, experimental data, and then these are tools. We will get a flavor of those tools, and this is today's last slide. Getting process improvement is identify what are the opportunities for defect in the product or in the process. That cannot be or in the service at the most. But service is usually now considered in a product. They are combined. What are the opportunities of defects? Where are the defects? And how do I measure those defects? Defect count, defects per unit, then deploy the tools to reduce. This is the problem, variability. Variability is the problem. So how do I do that? And then let's go for 0 defects, and the tool kit is these are the tools. These are the tools. We'll stop here. Tell me three questions I will put and give me the answer, correct answer. Try to give me the correct answer. Which company developed Six Sigma? Motorola, GE?
Motorola. Motorola, sir.
Okay, good. Acha. What is the defect count in a Six Sigma situation? What is the defect count in a Six Sigma situation?
3.2.
3.2.
Parts per billion.
Hey, उतना नहीं बोलेगा तो out of 100 only 50 you will get. Yes.
3.4 ppm.
Or there was another word which he was used.
DPMO.
Hey, what is full form?
Defects per opportunities.
Real
Parts per million.
Million opportunities.
Defects per million
opportunities.
First may have said opportunities. And we will next slide we will look at that thing. Next slide tomorrow. Acha, three questions over. There are two more questions. If you can tell me this from your thing, I will be so happy. Name any one tool of the Six Sigma. Any one tool.
Statistical process control, FMEA, design of experiments.
Damn good. 50 you have got out of 5 questions, you have 80%. Now the last 20%. Last 20% now I'm going to give you a tough question. The question will be, question is tough. Now let me not put a very tough question. What is the question? What should be the question? In a process, there are in a pictorial presentation of process, we use these words. The following words are used: input, validation, and then there are two words starting with O. What are those two words?
Output and output.
In a process depiction, in a input gear box, and then there are two things. What are those two?
Value, victory and error. That between.
And then output. And then there are two words with starting with O.
Outcome and output.
Yes. And what is does output come before outcome, or does outcome come before output? Which is the first? What is the sequence?
Output.
First output
and then
the
outcome.
That's it. Good, great. Thank you so much. Are you finding the subject little interesting?
Yes, sir.
Very much interesting, sir.
Good. So again, tomorrow we are meeting.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow we are meeting. And I have forgotten. I may also suddenly remember every question. Which I have told you to be scribbling. The last question. If you are at 3 sigma, what is the level of ppm?
66,000.
66,800.
Thank you so much. And tomorrow we are again meeting. Okay then. Okay then. That's it. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Happy weekend. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.